Hello. What I have here is the voltage regulator from the 1961 Comet that I'm working on. And I'm in the process of pulling this generator system out and replacing it with a one-wire alternator that I have. Just waiting on some bracketry to come in, and we'll get that all nice and tidy. But I just want to go over this voltage regulator and show you kind of sort of how it worked. And it's a learning process for me, but right now let me show you the connections to it. As you can see, it's got three connections. It's got the armature, the field or stator, and it's a 12 volts straight from the battery hot. Okay, now the armature is a connection from the generator of the rotating assembly, the rotating winding assembly. There's wires wound around in a coil that rotate when the engine spins, and it spins the generator. Okay, and the field is the stationary assembly in the generator. And when this spins in this, the armature spins in the field, and it has 12 volts. It creates a magnetism that generates power. And it's supposed to generate anywhere between 13 to 14 and a half volts to keep the battery and the electrical system charged up. Now, how it does that is through a series of circuits or on-off switches, basically, for lack of a better way to explain it. These switches work off of magnetism. As you can see, there's windings in each of the three of them, and they basically open and shut depending on what's needed. This is voltage regulator. Its main purpose is to keep the voltage from going too high and causing damage to the rest of the electrical system. These are extremely simple and were used for many years in the automotive industry before solid state or electronic ignition and electronic devices came about. So as you can see too, they're big and bulky, and something that performs this operation would be nothing more than the size probably of my thumbnail, or maybe a little bigger than that. Another bad or negative quality about this is it has a tendency, if you can see in there, it's kind of rusty, tendency to leak. And if it leaks and gets any kind of weather in there, water, anything like that, it renders this completely ineffective. So once every so often these had to be pulled and replaced, which wasn't a big deal, and at the time they were pretty cheap. Not a big deal to fix, but kind of time consuming because you had to pull one out and reinstall it and so forth. But anyway, I just thought it was really interesting and neat how the old system worked. I'm not exactly certain any farther than that how it works, but that's all I need to know right now. And this is being pulled out of there, and the three connections I've been able to pull out of there, with the exception of the hot 12 volts, which I have to join with the hot side of the battery, so I have power to the rest of the car. But anyway, I thought this was pretty interesting. So have a good day. Bye.